Hello doctor and hi everyone. So in this video we are going to talk about the topic given, which is safe chemical disposal, protecting people and the environment. Generally, safe chemical disposal is critical aspect of environmental stewardship and public health. As industries and households continue to utilize various chemicals for manufacturing, cleaning and other purposes, the responsible management and disposal of these substances become paramount. Improper disposal can lead to severe consequences, including environmental pollution, harm to wildlife, and adverse effects on human health. The importance of safe chemical disposal lies in minimizing the potential risk associated with the release of hazardous substances into the environment. Chemicals, when not handled and disposed of correctly, can contaminate soil, water, and air, creating long-lasting and far-reaching impacts. Therefore, it is crucial to adopt sustainable practices that prioritize the protection of both people and the environment. This guide aims to provide insights into the principles and practices of safe chemical disposal, emphasizing the need for responsible and eco-friendly approaches. By understanding the potential hazards posed by improper disposal and embracing effective disposal methods, individuals, business, and communities can contribute to a cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable future.
Chemical waste is any unnecessary or excess use of a chemical or a chemical substance that could harm human health or environment when released to the air, water, and land. There are various types of chemical waste. Among them is inorganic chemical waste. Inorganic chemical waste can arise from industrial, laboratory, and manufacturing processes that involve the use, synthesis, or disposal of inorganic substance. For example, is heavy metal waste like mercury, lead, and cadmium. For example, mercury exists in elemental form Hg, lead SpV, and cadmium SCD. After that is organic chemical waste. Organic chemical waste refers to waste material that primarily consists of carbon-containing compound, typically with carbon hydrogen. These compounds are derived from living organisms or synthesized through chemical processes. Organic chemical waste includes chloroform and benzene with elemental form like CHCI3 and C6H6. The hazardous nature of different waste types is often associated with specific chemical properties. Some chemical properties contributing to the hazardous nature of various waste types and link them to molecular structures or reaction mechanism. For example, corrosiveness in inorganic chemical waste. Chemical property, which is corrosiveness, is often linked to the ability of substance to cause damage to living tissues and materials. For instance, a strong acid like sulfuric acid and sodium hydroxide can ionize and release hydrogen ions, leading to corrosive effect. After that, toxicity in chemical waste. Toxicity refers to the ability of substance to cause harm to living organisms and environment. Some organic compounds such as certain solvent or pesticides may have molecular structures that interfere with biological process. For instance, chloroform disrupts cell membrane function that can affect the central nervous system and also contribute to air pollution when released into the atmosphere.
The next method for handling chemicals for safe disposal is by chemical handling and storage. Before we get into the details, it is important to take stock of the many federal, state, and local regulations that may include specific requirements for handling and storing chemicals in labs and storerooms. For example, controlled substance and consumable alcohol are regulated by the Food and Drug Administration and the Drug Enforcement Agency. To store chemicals safely, we need to label all chemicals container full, including the owner's and user's name along with the data received. Second, we need to provide a specific storage space for each chemical and ensure the return after each use. Then we need to separate all chemicals, especially liquids, according to compatible groups. Then we need to follow all the precautions regarding storage of incompatible materials. Post a chemical compatibility chart for reference, and we need to store the chemicals into the rooms. Then we need to seal the container tightly to prevent the escape of vapors. And when we use this method, we need to avoid storing large, heavy containers or liquids on high shelf or in high cabinets. Then we need to instead store this at shoulder level or below. Second, we need to avoid to storing bottles on the floor unless they are in some types of secondary containment. Then we need to avoid to storing chemical near heat sources or in direct sunlight.
When elements of a mixture or substance separate because of variations in their physical characteristics, such as density, particle size, solubility, or chemical affinity, this is referred to as chemical segregation. Segregation can happen during the processing, transportation, or storage of materials containing several chemicals, resulting in division of components according to this characteristic. There are three general scenarios to highlight the potential consequences of improper segregation. 1. Pharmaceuticals industry. If different active pharmaceutical ingredients or incompatible substances intended for separate formulation get mixed due to unexpected chemical reactions. 2. Chemical manufacturing. In chemical production plants, failure to segregate incompatible substances properly can lead to unintended reaction or hazardous situations. 3. Food industry. Segregation issue in the food processing industry can lead to unintended cross-contamination of allergens or spoilage. This is the storage class of chemicals. There are a number of different strategies for storing solid and liquid chemical ranging from extremely complicated to extremely simple. 1. Acid, base, flammable oxidizer, water reactive, air reactive, and the last one, extremely acid.
When transporting chemicals waste, secure the load which will ensure to prevent movement and loss. The container should be designed to fit safely on the transport vehicles and never collect dissimilar waste in the same container. First, avoiding extreme temperature. Proper temperature control is crucial from transporting temperature-sensitive chemicals. Third, pressure change. It can impact chemicals. High pressure can rupture container while low pressure affect chemicals that rely on pressure for stability. Third, container material selection. Chemicals compatibility chart are important to understand. Different materials can react differently with chemicals. Chemicals reactivity. Chemicals can react with each other, causing a fire or explosion. Do not transport incompatible chemicals together. Chemical transport regulation prevent hazardous chemicals reaction during transportation to ensure safe delivery. Maintaining the temperature of hazardous chemicals during transport is crucial. Extreme temperature can cause some chemicals to become unstable, so it is important to keep the container within the recommended temperature range. Maintain proper pressure and seal the container to prevent chemical instability. Choose a container materials that is compatible with the chemicals being transported to avoid failure of leakage. I consider chemical reactivity. Avoid transporting incompatible chemicals together and label container properly with chemicals name and hazard class. There are many types of transporting chemicals waste such as cargo tank, container and ship. To ensure chemicals waste is safely delivered to facility, we must make sure that incompatible chemicals should not be transported in the vehicles. Chemicals should be transported without exposure to air, moisture and heat. During transport, hazardous chemicals can undergo various chemicals reaction or degradation process that can lead to dangerous situation. For example,
Next, I would like to discuss the disposal method. In this method, we can do the recycling method. Recycling involves the collection and processing of waste materials to produce new products. This method can reduce energy consumption and reduce the environmental impact associated with the extraction and processing of raw materials. In addition, land disposal is also a method of disposal. This method involves burying the waste in designated landfills. Proper management of landfills is essential to avoid environmental pollution. Composting organic waste such as food scraps and garden waste can be composted to produce nutrient-rich soil. Deep well injection. This method involves injecting liquid waste deep into the ground.
Also affected by improper ways of disposing chemical waste. So firstly, what will happen to the environment if we not properly dispose all those kind of chemical waste? We can resulting a pollution, vast majority of pollution, air pollution, water pollution, ground pollution, soil pollution, we will result in all of that. Next, we can result in the extinction of animal, various type of animal, aquatics, land mammals, reptiles, amphibians, all those kind of animal that existing in the kingdom of Animalia. Next, we will result in the death of various type of plant. When this, like we take earlier, the soil pollution, there will be a vast majority of plant that will be dead if we're not disposing this chemical in the right way. So what effect that happen to human when we experiencing all kind of this ridiculous and very bad situation of pollution? Of course, we will facing so much things such as famine, or maybe collapsing of the government, unfunctional society, and etc. So all those kind of bad things will come eventually to us. So how we want to prevent all this? And of course, we don't want this to happen. Yes, using the chemistry itself in the process of chemical dispose. We have know how to dispose it, and we have heard earlier in this video about all this, what is chemical disposal, and now what is the root of it? Of course, the chemistry itself. From there we can learn how to identify the chemical waste itself. We can identify the way how we want to dispose of, and from that we can minimize the waste that being produced. In other words, we can also apply this apply chemistry, because chemistry play a very crucial part in this part of works. Yes, I'm sorry for the usage of the word, but it is what it is. We need chemistry. So from chemistry we can innovate so much more new solution. We can optimize the process itself. We can take all the risk, the mitigation. We can put all of this kind of things to one thing that conclude a very, very suitable solution for the chemical disposal itself. So how I want to put this, and by other words, it's not only limited to the scientists or the field of the academic itself. All parts of society need to play a vital role, but the root is we are depending on the chemistry itself. We cannot run from the chemistry. So in the future, what we can do, what is the hope for the world when we use this, how I put it, we use the chemistry for the solution. We can result in a nanotechnology application. We can explore the nanotechnology for the disposal of the chemical waste in the future. Maybe we can resulting an advanced oxidation process. From the current uses of oxidation process, we can expand it, upgrade it, and bring a new waste if we are there to take the challenge and understand the better of the chemistry itself. Like now, then we have various type of chemical disposal method, like the bioremediation techniques. Also, we can expand this thing with the further research into the bioremediation technique using the microorganism itself, enzyme, and genetically engineered organism. We will able to transform into a less or inert substance, a less harmful. We are able to do this with a better understanding of the chemistry. It is why chemistry are very important in this part. It is very crucial for the chemical disposal itself. So, in conclusion, how we want to dispose of chemical waste in the most suitable ways, the best way. We need to explore more and understanding more. We need to have better understanding about the chemistry itself.